Hello again. So this is the second part of the video. Okay, it's a continuation of the first video about sociopragmatics, and this is the last part concerning sociopragmatics before we move on to language and gender. So when we talk about elements of sociopragmatics, we talk generally about communication functions that go as follows. We have intent of communication. That is. That involves the ability to generate messages generally, such as requests, comments, questions, negotiations, or other functions, depending on the purpose of the communication. We also have frequency of communication. That involves the number of messages that are offered during this conversation. Okay. So concerning discourse management, it's how you manage the discourse, how you manage how you manage the conversation between the how you manage the conversation in general. We also have turn allocation. Turn allocation is talking a turn on the conversation at the appropriate time. Okay, so limiting one's talking to one's turn. Concerning topics, it's staying on the topic, of course, unless there is a signal by one partner to change the topic or to introduce a topic shift. And then we have repair of conversational breakdowns. That involves recognition that there is a breakdown in communication, especially of course at the level of understanding. And here we can have some strategies such as repeat and rephrasing, adding information in order to clarify the message. Okay, so this is it for sociopragmatics. Now we move on to language and gender. Among American English speakers, girls have been found to produce more standard language. Okay, so girls have been found to produce more standard language than boys, and of course this continues until the adulthood. Women produce language that expresses more uncertainty than men. So women appear to use language that expresses more uncertainty, like tag questions, rising intonation on declaratives, etc. Men interrupt more than women. Okay, so Tanin 1996, males place more value in conversational interaction on status talk competing for the floor, unlike women that are on the other hand value connection and rapport. They are cooperative and facilitative conversationalists. This is by Holmes, 1991. In Japanese, women's and men's language is differentiated by formal, syntactic variants, intonation, patterns, and nonverbal expressions. Okay, so for example, if an English speaker learns Japanese by a Japanese teacher, he will be influenced by this way this female speaks. Like for example, they say things like a woman because they're influenced by the intonation, influenced by the way she speaks in general. Okay, so there's also another twist on the language and gender issue: sexist language. That either calls unnecessary attention to gender or is demanding to one gender. So, sexist language, to clarify the point, presents stereotypes of both females and males, sometimes to the disadvantages of males, but more often to the disadvantages of females themselves. Okay, this includes the depiction of women in the position of passive object rather than active subject. For example, on the basis of their appearance, like a blonde, or a domestic role, like something like a mother of two or of three, etc. Okay, so the theoretical possessions evolved to emphasize the relationship between language and power. So of course, social positions influence or superiority influences language itself. This is actually kind of criticism to what has been said about both men and female, or males and females. So Pamela Fishman argues in Interaction. The work women do, that conversation between the sexes sometimes fails, not because of anything inherent in the way women talk, but because of how men respond or don't respond. Okay? Or women ask a lot of questions because of the power of these, not the other way around. Okay? Not because of their personality weaknesses. This is just a kind of criticism. Yes, now we move on to discourse styles. Discourse styles is the way we use language in different styles, depending on the context of the communicative act in terms of subject matter, audience, occasion, shared experience, and purpose of communication. So, grosso modo, this is the way we use language in different contexts of communication, depending on the purpose, depending on the context of communication. When we talk about discourse style, we can talk about mainly five styles, 5 types of discourse styles that go as follows. The first one is a oratorical style. This style is generally used in public speaking in front of a large audience. Okay, here wording is carefully planned in advance, intonation is exaggerated somehow, and numerous rhetorical devices are appropriate. Okay, so this in this style there's it's pre-planned, it's organized, and here you pay attention, of course, to your words because you will be judged by the audience you're speaking in front of. The second one is a deliberative style that is used in addressing audiences also. And actually this one permits effective interchange between speaker and hearers, okay, between the speaker and the ones that are listening to him. An example of this would be a university classroom lecture. The third one is consultative style. Actually it's the conversation or the dialogue that is formal enough. Okay, words are chosen with some care, and this can be in a conversation between a doctor and a patient, or of course this is or just conversations generally that are usually consultative in nature. We also have a casual style. So casual style is conversation between friends, colleagues, sometimes members of family. In this context, words, of course, are chosen carefully, but not that carefully as, for example, in the deliberative style. Okay, why? Because there are no social barriers in this context. And finally, we have an intimate style. This one is characterized by complete absence of social inhibitions. So this can be used when you talk, especially with close ones like family members, loved ones, very close friends, where the inner self is revealed and where you have nor to weigh your thoughts or measure your words. Okay, so categories of style can apply to written discourse as well. Here, written style is in the written discourse, what is generally used is deliberative style, of course, with the exception of friendly letters, notes, emails, or literature that intend to capture more personal style. I guess this is it for the discourse style. Now we move on to nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is very important. Why? Because generally only 7% of messages effects is carried by words. Okay, listeners receive the other 93% through nonverbal means. So they serve for different purposes. Like they serve to provide information, regulate interaction, present an image about something, clarifying different points in the conversation, etc. So it's the process of communication through sending and receiving wordless that are mostly visual cues between people. Messages can be communicated through gestures and touch, body language or posture, physical distance, facial expressions, and eye contact, with which are all types of nonverbal communication. Okay, so these are just types of nonverbal communication. We'll go into details in one of these in a minute. Okay, so first of all, we have what we call kinesics. Okay, so concerning kinesics is the study of the way in which certain body movements and gestures serve as a form of nonverbal communication. An example of that would be holding, for example, his fingers in a ring shape, okay, or okay gesture. This indicates that person is saying some important thing. Sitting, legs crossed, arms resting on legs. These are the sign of confidence. Okay, these are just some examples. Sitting legs apart, open. These are a sign of being relaxed. Okay, the two hands behind the head shows superior attitude or of the know-it-all. Okay, concerning the eye contact. Well, eye contact is also very important. It's eye contact serves for many reasons. First of all, respect. So it shows that you respect the person you're talking to. Interest. So you show your kind of interest to what is being told to you. Appreciation and understanding. Yeah, so it's actually important to teach children eye contact and to teach students eye contact and to do to maintain the eye contact with the students from a young age, because when you look at them and not away, you show that you are interested, that you care, and you give a positive image about yourself. So generally, it's just posture. It shows some involvements and attention instead of looking away. That often involves a lack of interest and a lack of engagement. Concerning eye contact, there are some cultural differences that exist. Like for example, in Asia, keeping eye contact with someone of authority implies rudeness and can be taken as a provoking means of communication. In Western societies, eye contact can imply empathy and comes across as a type of emotional connection. Okay, the Spanish women used eye contact to say what they couldn't express explicitly, and in some Asian countries, avoiding eye contact is a sign of respect. So this is just general interpretations of eye contact depending on the culture, depending on the countries. We also have what we call proxemics. Proxemics are often, or people often refer to their need for personal space, which is also an important type of nonverbal communication. The amount of distance we need and the amount of space we perceive as belonging to us is influenced by a number of factors, including social norms, situational factors, personality characteristics, and level of familiarity. For example, the amount of personal space needed when having a casual conversation with another person usually varies between 19 inches to 4 feet. On the other hand, the personal distance needed when speaking to a crowd of people is around 10 to 12 feet. Okay, so these are just three types of nonverbal communication. We'll continue the rest of the other types of nonverbal communication in another presentation. Thank you very much.